Oh my God, why do I always question myself? Oh my, I'm going crazy now, so let me stop there.
Making money like a mint.
Hey, it's Diane, and welcome to the Cultivate with Courage YouTube channel. Before we get into today's video, make sure that you subscribe and you turn on bell notifications. It's Friday, and that means I get to do another book review. And Tuesday's video has some additional context for today's book, so if you haven't seen that yet, head on over and give it a watch. Now, what book is this, you ask? I'm glad that you did ask. An African American and Latinx History of the United States by Paul Ortiz. And this book is muy bueno. Before I get into the book, I want to share a little bit about the author. Dr. Paul Ortiz is an American historian. He's a professor. He is relatively young. He's in his mid-50s. He was raised by his mother and his white stepfather, who was extremely racist. So much that he made Paul Ortiz, at the age of 9 or 10, change his name to Mac McDonald. Like, as a Mexican, to be forced to change your name to Mac McDonald, oh my God, that was some BS. But in addition to that, he grew up surrounded by adult white people. They took every opportunity they could to tell him that blacks and Mexicans contributed absolutely nothing to the United States. Why all of that is important is because his experience as a child, as well as a scholar, as an educator, really hearing the voices and the sentiments of his students around their lack of interest and connection to the history that they were being taught was a real inspiration for him to write this book. He wanted to ensure that no black or brown children ever again would be ashamed of who they are or where they come from. And if you are black or brown, you understand the significance that that statement carries. So let me jump into why I love this book. It explains everything that we don't learn about in school. And if you want to dive further into what I mean by that, we actually cover They Schools by Dead Prez in episode 20 of the Now What podcast. We get into the lyrics, the impact, and the messages behind the failed education system for our people. And it is a great conversation, so I encourage you to go and give that a listen. This book does an excellent job of shedding light to the black and brown diasporas that our ancestors come from in Latin America, the Caribbean, and Africa. You will learn that Mexico abolished slavery way before the United States ever did. There's so many other events that happened leading up to the United States abolishing slavery that has never been told or shared with our people. What I loved about this book is how it shared the democratic struggles of our people and how that is a story of survival. What you will learn in this book is the story of our ancestors is of pure self-determination to survive in a society that was created to keep them in the bottom rung of a social order. The history of African American and Latinx people is nothing to be ashamed of. We should take great pride in our contributions to the United States. Inequality was enforced with the United States Constitution, with a gun and a whip, with Juan Crow, with Jim Crow, all of these structures that have been put in place to keep black and brown people oppressed. So we have nothing to apologize for. Every democratic right that we enjoy is an achievement of our ancestors who fought, suffered, and died for. So no, we won't stop. No, we won't be quiet. I do it for my people. Yo lo hago con mi gente. So I want to wrap up this book review with my absolute highest recommendations. It should be required reading, but it's also important to understand what this book really is and who may enjoy it and who may not. This is a history book. This is all of the history that you learn in high school and even undergraduate about the United States in this one book. And history can be a very dry and boring subject, but I would recommend the Audible version. The narrator of this story does an amazing job of making this such a powerful experience, not just a learning, but really an experience to understand ourselves and our people. Also, I would recommend that this be in a bookshelf. This should be required learning. Talk about this, learn, have the conversations at home with your kids. Make sure that these stories and this history is something that we continue to learn and we continue to share with our people. Here's how you can cultivate with courage. You will enjoy this book if you truly are open to understanding the relationship between Latinx and African American people. How we are so interwoven from the very beginning. How collectively we have always fought together against oppression, imperialism, racial capitalism, slavery, colonialism. And in order for it to have its biggest impact, it's gonna require you to have a reconciliation with yourself and understand the histories of our collective ancestors. So don't forget to enter for your chance to win a copy of this book. It can be Audible, paperback, Kindle, whatever your preference is. You will find instructions on how to enter the giveaway in the video description, so make sure that you check them out. Until next time, stay inspired.
Making money like a mint, laying in my ice like shrimp, mint condition that I'm in, coming with the freshness.